So we're here with Roberto Napolitano, CMO at Innovate Finance. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you, Jonathan, for having me.
How was the event so far?
The event so far has been very good. It's very busy and buzzing. The atmosphere is very positive, and we just had a panel discussion on the future of funding.
Yes, so let's dive a bit into the future of funding. It's popular to hear and think maybe that the mood is still cumbersome, but you see it a bit differently, right?
You know, the UK is still leading in terms of capital invested in fintechs. It's the second largest market after the US. In the first 6 months of 2024, the UK received $2 billion in investment in fintechs, and more than all European countries combined. So it's still very positive. Now, looking into 2025, maybe this picture is changing slightly, but we don't know yet. So in January, we release the report looking at the whole 2024 and see whether the UK is still maintaining this leadership.
I see. And anything you heard on the panel made you even more optimistic, or maybe you learned something new hearing from VCs, from participants in this space?
I think the panel conversation was very interesting and very insightful. We had like 4 VCs on stage with me, and some recommendations, and something that I learned today is that for them innovation never ends. So they're always looking at innovation as a continuous. So nothing stops founders to start innovative projects and company. Making sure that you're also present in key markets that you want to operate in, like the US still remains one of the largest markets, if not the largest market for fintech. So looking at the US as well, some suggestions for founders to at least be present in that market if they think that they want to go into that market.
Yes, and I said that you're a CMO, which makes you an expert on marketing. So perhaps you have some tips or bits of advice to startups that are at the phase of either scaling or even just building the community, the users community. What do you think gains traction in financial services today?
I think that's a great question, and that's what we do at Innovate Finance. Is we connect the ecosystem together. We have many events every year, and including CMO roundtables, where we want to hear from marketing leaders across the industry about the challenges and the opportunities they have. They're like, the usual recommendations are to really be unique in your proposition and make sure that you do your research before you launch a new product or a new service, and then to connect with other players in the market. So don't be siloed too much into your own organizations, but look around.
Okay, that's interesting. Get out of stealth mode and collaborate. So you mentioned Innovate Finance as a wealth of knowledge, among other things. Can you share a bit more about your work, what you do with startups and with the community as a whole?
That's a great question. I mean, we mainly do 3 things, if I want to oversimplify. We connect the ecosystem.
Which is good for this format.
Yes, we connect the ecosystem together with our events. We do 100 events a year, including our global summit, which is IFGS. So you should definitely come next year in 2025.
In London?
In London, end of April. And then we really promote the success stories of fintech. Fintech is a very important sector for the economy, so our role at Innovate Finance is to really make sure that we are the voice of UK fintech and we support the success stories. And last but not least, we advocate on their behalf. So we work with the government and regulators to make sure that regulations are helping fintechs to start and scale and grow in the country.
And the sentiment that you get or that you see from the government in the UK is positive, adopting fintechs, or are there specific blind spots that they should be paying more attention to?
It is very positive, actually. The new government here is looking at our UK plan for fintechs. They've been reading it, they've been embedding some of our recommendations to their future plan of growth, and actually fintech is now part of the industrial strategy for the new government, so it's very promising.
Great, and I reviewed the extensive report, impact report. Maybe you can share a bit what it deals with and what you will be compiling the next one.
So that's an excellent report that we've done in partnership with Accenture and Vested Impact. We looked at 3,500 fintech organizations in the UK, and we mapped these organizations across 5 dimensions, which are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, planet, productivity, place. I can't remember the other 2, but it's basically 5. And what we found is that the impact overall of fintechs for the economy, for productivity, is very positive. 98% of fintechs are actually having a positive impact. There's some areas that they need to develop more. For example, planet is one of these areas. So on the net zero dimension. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But overall, we're still seeing a positive impact of fintechs for the economy, for society as a whole.
So fintech for good via Innovate Finance. Thank you very much.
Thank you.